30th of November, Wednesday. This is Cal again for MAO. Now, this is a must-watch video because there are loads and loads of information that I need to share with you, and hopefully you can benefit from it. Now, Elon Musk is very pissed with Tim Cook, that is for sure. If you actually read the news today, you will understand why he's so angry with the Tim Cook or Apple itself. And of course, I'll talk about the current situation in China. And of course, there is something that the US Embassy has started doing. This is going to be very interesting. Let's continue right now. But please again, make sure that you do your risk assessment. And also, thank you Amos for the kind sponsorship. Now, people in China is definitely getting very angry. You can see that this is from the mainstream media. I think it was one of Fox channel. So you can see that the Chinese police officer are blocking off areas and to make sure that the protesters doesn't spread. But of course, there are many part of China is having this thing happening right now, and of course people are getting very worried, and there is some measurements going on right now, and of course people are just thinking out loud, what will be happening if this is going to be spreading across the entire China, right? So apparently the government has started to act. Okay, this is from some of the local source said that China is telling the students to go back home right now because it's coming Chinese New Year soon, and usually the student will be asked to be going back, right, to their hometown. So in fact now apparently there are some transportation given to this student to let them go back, especially the university student. And of course the reason is that you know that usually protests itself, you don't want the student to be around, and you could have a repeat of what happened back in the particular place in China back in the 1960s. So my point is this: if this is going to be happening, we have to be very careful on what's going on right now. But of course, you can see that there are the police officers are actually going on to search people's handphone. Now, this is not something that I made it up, because you can see that this is from BBC. Apparently, it seems that the Chinese police are going around to check people's handphone to see whether do we have any content of the protest, or they are sending things, or they're trying to trying to instigate anything here. So it's getting a little bit sensitive over right now in China, and of course the US Embassy is also moving on. And there are some screenshots showing that even tanks are actually going into the cities. Oh my god, this is really scary though. Alright, but again, the stock market doesn't seem to be doing the same thing. Now the stock market, as you can see, in a single day, the stock market has rallied all the way past to 12,600 area. And believe it or not, the stuff, right, usually if I see such a movement, I have two views here, so take note of this. Now, it's either that we're going to see a huge pullback all the way down back to 12,200. Okay, that is the first take, that if let's say the market really feel very uncomfortable, the market can pull back down all the way to 12,200. But if the market, this pull up itself is already done by the boys, which is the government themselves, then there is a chance that the market can go all the way to 13,000. All right, so that is the thing here. So if you would ask me, right, what's my personal view? Now, of course, if you ask, if the government, right, is actually having all these protests going on right now, and so many Western media watching me, most likely I will do the opposite, which is that rather than expect the stock market to go down, they may actually push the stock market higher to show that the resilience of the government. And this is how I feel that might be happening later this week or so. Alright, so that's my personal view. And of course, you can see that in the US side, all the Chinese stock has shot up yesterday. Wow, it's like anything that is Chinese related, everything just went up. You can see that it's really incredible. All right, and of course that is another sign of that. Now the US Embassy in China has signaled potential lockdowns to tell, and they're telling the people there to be very careful and prepare as much as 14 days supply of medication and vital things. So again, all these things are now going around, and this is actually making the whole situation a little bit intensive. But like I say once again, if this is based on my personal experience, when all these things are happening, usually the government will come in and they will do something to the stock market. And from the way I see it right now, most likely they're like going to probe the stock market higher to give confidence, and also probably to just simmer the current heat right now. Of course, there are so many people is actually protesting for the wrong reason, in my opinion. But then again, the eruption itself is going to be good for the economy. So in the short term, maybe the stock market might be pushed up, but in the long term, this will have the repercussion effect. So traders, you need to be very careful and take note of what I just shared moments ago. All right. Now let's just look at the this thing here, Apple shares. Now, Apple share yesterday has came off quite a fair bit. Now, what actually happened there? Let's take a look. Now, Apple share fell because of an analyst. Right? He's a well-known analyst. He actually says that because of the recent protests in China, that causes probably potentially millions of iPhone 14 can't be released on time, and that is actually a warning that the market doesn't want it. And you can see that now the Apple share actually fell yesterday by 2%. Okay, now I mentioned that Apple share 147 is a very important stabilizer, which is around here, and if the market can stay above it, we may test 156 again. But if the market failed to hold above 147, which is what we are seeing right now, there is a chance to see 138 coming in. Now, the last time we see 138 was somewhere around here, and the recent low was somewhere around 135 area. So if the 138 can't hold, there could be a chance the market can even see 133 coming in. So traders, you need to be very careful on Apple, and of course, based on the high volume trading, I think that there is a chance to see Apple going down further. And of course, if you're using the TWB system itself, you can actually see pretty clear. Let me just change the color a little bit. All right, you can see right now that we have the KSI and the KRW both turning red at the same time. That's why the red arrow was there. And once you have this, you can see that the market really inform us that there could be selling to come, and the market really dive from $149. The Apple share on the CFD dropped all the way down to 140 range, which is actually forecasted by our system. You can see that 140.30, and the low was 140.25 on the CFD side. So once again, you can see that the impressiveness of this TWB system. So as long as you have it itself, right, you can actually know what to do. So my view is that it could continue to go down further to 137, because that is a MA30 for Apple. All right. Now, of course, there's another counter that very visibly clear that it was Tesla. Tesla was down yesterday too. Now, Tesla shares, you can see the sentiment since October until to date is all the way negative. KSI was negative, KRW were negative. So what is happening right now? Basically, this counter itself, even though there could be a rally like this, but once the color change from yellow to red, you can see that the market instantly sells. You can see that it happens again right here, and the market sells. So in fact, we will have to look at this Tesla very closely. If the moment you see the next coloration is CCYR, meaning color change from yellow to red, then we may actually see selling again happening on this Tesla share. And of course, Tesla share, in my opinion, we can really see 160 in the near term if the market cannot hold water. And this is something very scary, because you can see that the indicators wise, the whole chunk of it is all selling since the start of October. So that's the reason why this particular rally, when people are calling for buy, I was calling for sell instead. Okay. All right, so what is actually happening now between this Apple and Tesla? So apparently Elon Musk yesterday, the day before, came in and actually says that Apple has mostly stopped advertising on Twitter. Wow, okay, that is a very big news here itself. And I mean, Elon Musk was saying that what's going on. Tim Cook, he even addressed the CEO very blatantly upfront. And of course, you can see that Apple has threatened to withhold Twitter from its App Store. Well, this is going to be very bad, because that means that if you go, you're iOS user, and we do your Play Store, you may not find Twitter. This is going to be a very big slap if actually Apple decides to do this. It's still not done yet, but it's getting scarier now. So Elon Musk began to ask, Apple should publish all censorship action that's taken that affect its customer. All right, asking people how they feel, and of course, more than 2 million overvotes came in, and 84% of them actually says that Apple should publish. Of course, this is more like gearing people's sentiment to do what is happening right now, and of course, this is not a good thing to begin with. And of course, now because of all these things, now both Apple and this Tesla shares are being sold, because now investors are getting worried, and they feel that these two giants can actually terrorize each other. Okay, and of course Elon Musk added on and by saying that that do you know that Apple put a secret 30% tax on everything you buy through their App Store? This is something that we in technical market we all do know, and of course, again, by bringing it up again, things will get a little bit messy for Apple, and of course you can see that. So the thing is, why is Elon Musk so angry with Tim Cook? Well, other than what is happening right now, if you can remember, actually back in 2017, all right, this Elon Musk wanted to sell Tesla, okay, to Apple, but of course Tim Cook refused the meeting, okay, refused by not even appearing for that meeting itself. That left a little bit unhappiness by then. You can see that this is directly from Elon Musk. During the darkest days of the Model 3, I reached out to Tim Cook to discuss the possibility of Apple acquiring Tesla, okay? And of course, he refused to take the meeting, and things from there has begun, all right? So what did the Tesla did to recover to where we are right now, right? If you cannot remember, let me refresh your memory. Because China funds came in, right? They lent him a lot of money, and after that, allow him to do the Giga factory in Shanghai, and that basically propels Tesla shares all the way up and make Elon Musk the richest man on earth. Now, of course, because of China involvement, that actually doesn't make White House any happier, and seemingly Biden, all right, seemingly Biden is trying to ignore Tesla in total. Whenever there is a start of meeting from electric vehicle, we can see vividly Tesla will never be invited. And of course, recently now Elon Musk said that he is supportive of the Republicans, so obviously going to make things even tougher. So all these things are actually is stretching the investors' mind, and maybe they are trying to say that, okay, you know what, let you do what you need to do first. I will wait for a while and see what to do next. All right, and of course, to this week itself, we have loads of information coming in. We have the consumer confidence that happened yesterday. The forecast number was 100, but the market came out 100.2, so it's pretty okay. But today is the ADP numbers. The ADP numbers previously was 239. The market is looking at a lower number. Now this number, if you go lower, means that the employment data is actually coming down, and that is something favorable to what the Federal Reserve want. But on the flip side, it actually tells you that the economy of the US is actually coming to a point of saturation. So again, this is going to be a very interesting paradox here. It's going to be like you want it bad, but you want it good. And of course, the GDP numbers now. The GDP numbers is looking at a higher number today. Now, I suspect that it will be, because why? If the market really want to show that the economy is doing well, some numbers need to be reflective. And I told myself 2.7, 2.8 should be a good start, all right? And on Thursday, we have Federal Reserve Jerome Powell speaking, and of course, the PCE data will also be watched. And apparently, the market is expecting a lower number, which is, of course, pretty good for long term, because if the PCE numbers are down, then, of course, Jerome Powell is telling people that, see, my inflation strategy is going correct. We can actually continue whatever we are doing. So, again, all this information is going to be very, very important for you. So take note of all this. All right, guys. Do note, on this coming Saturday, we will have the preview going on. About 50 people have signed up. Thank you so much. All right, this is a very important preview, because if you have heard and seen me sharing how the technical indicator, TWB indicator, work on Tesla and Apple, you should know that if you actually continue to use it, you will be able to know when's the turning point. So do register with the link right below. And of course, there is a special code that I left today among the PowerPoint slides. So take note of that, okay? All right, so let's look at the chart right now and see what we have for you. Now we can see that the China market has came off a little bit. It's now 12,555 right now. The low today is 12,482. I think it happened just moments ago. And from the way I look at it, as I said earlier, most likely we can see 13,000 coming in. All right, that's my personal view in this market, even though I'm bearish. But from the way I look at the way it reversed long tail here, crossing above the MA30, cross this particular technical point, then I believe that the fixed number is 13,000. All right, that's how I see this at the moment right now. Now for the today's market, you can see for Hang Seng is trading at 18,271. So if let's say the China A50 do go to 13,000, then of course Hang Seng can go all the way to 18,900 series. Okay, so again, that is an MA200. It is possible for the market to just test around this area. Now let's just look at the other market right now. Let's look at NASDAQ. Now NASDAQ has continued to slide, and you can see incredibly this is the BNB SL, which I share with you, is at 11,509. And as long as the NASDAQ stays above 11,509, which is now, the market should be able to find a base support. Okay, so if it recovers 11,558, the MLP for today will be the first resistance. Now, indicator wise is that the KSI is red, but the KRW is cyan, so that means it's a make back signal. That's the reason why the market is staying supported right now at the BNB SL level. Now, for the Dow Jones, if you can see today's a DJDD, alright? DJDD stands for Doji Directional Day. So as long as the Dow stays above OP, we can see the Dow going up. Now, the MLP is 33,884, which is where we are right now. The market may test it back to go back to 14,000 because it's above pivot 1. When the market is trading above OP and above pivot 1, usually the market will go back up to about 34,000 based on what we're seeing right now. But of course, the recent movement here is really, really tight. And I suspect that this is really pretty similar to what we saw back in January this year, right? Where the market was very sideways, and then that was where it started the selling. So in terms of long term, I still believe the Dow is going to pull back down. Short term wise, we may see a little bit of recovery, but 34,000 is my max level, I think. S&P 500, we can see that this is the BNB support level, SL, and that is at this 39.54. Yesterday, the market tested it and closed above it, tells you that the market is still pretty strong at the moment. But KSI and KRW are mixed bag, so as long as 39.54 stay, there is a chance for the market to go back up to 40 to 4,000 level, alright, 4,000 level. But if the market failed to stay above the support, then the selling could bring it down all the way to 38.64, alright. Alright, so that is the US market. Let's look at the oil market right now. Now, many people is asking what's our view on oil. I told you guys that we have a very strong support done yesterday, the day before, sorry, at 73.64. The low of yesterday was 76.31, which means it touches the support level and rebounded. And in fact, it went to the high of 79.64. So that means that this 76 level is a very strong level at the moment. And there are also grapevines saying that there could be more potential production cut from OPEC. And also, it seems that US has to start to go back to buy back their reserve, because they've been dumping a lot of crude oil over the last few months to try to lower down inflation. But once you hit a certain level, they have to consider the buyback, right? So I suspect that if the crude oil can come back down to about, say, $72, that will be an excellent price to buy. But if not, at the moment now, $76.32 is a very, very strong support for time being, all right? But the KSI and KRW both are red, so that means the buying will be a little bit hard or tough. So go slow with your buying entry. Okay, so we have done with the crude oil. Let's look at the gold market, quick one. Well, the gold market is interesting. It's been trying to resilient against the downside. It has been ding dong among the range of 1735 to 1760. This range has been there for 5 days. And looking at this, right, if the market can break above the 1758, we can see it going up all the way to 1763 level. Okay, now today is a CCRY more to the buying side, but KSI and KRW is mixed bag, so I suspect that the upside is 1758. all right, that's how I see for gold. And for silver, let's take a look right now. Silver have a new BNB and the support is at 2086. So as long as silver stays above 2086, there is a chance for silver to come back out to the BNB RL level, and just 2160. all right, the support level, as I said earlier, is about 2080 range. Okay, all right, but the silver indicator wise, the selling is already there. So if the color KRW turn red, then there will be some profit taking, and I'm watching here as well at $20 would be a very good decent buy range. All right, and look at the Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's take a look right now. Now the Ethereum has pushed up today. It has pushed up above the BNB RL level, so that means that it's going to hit for 1333. all right, 13, sorry, my bad, 1333. technical point. Alright, so traders need to watch out for this. This is a very nice push up. You can see the KSI and the KCX, both of them are positive, hence therefore it's a matter of time to see 1333. So you can see that with our TWB system, right, you don't need to guess what's to do next, you just have to follow through and wait for your turn to enter. So same thing again for the Bitcoin. You have been bouncing around at the BNB, RL and SL. So when you saw the market just couldn't go below it, right, we know that the market has bottomed out a little bit and now it's testing the BNB, RL, and there's 16,670. If the market goes above it, we can see all the way, alright, to 17,416 level. Alright, watch out for that. This is 16,800, my bad. Okay, just somewhere where we are right now. Okay, alright, that will be all for today. I sincerely hope that you caught some of the hint that I share. Be careful of the market. I'll see you again tomorrow, and remember to put the special code in the comment box. This is Cal signing off. Bye bye.